Success is not about feeling motivated. It's about building discipline to show up and do the work even when you don't feel like it. Motivation is fleeting, unpredictable, and unreliable. It comes in waves fueled by emotions and circumstances. One moment you're fired up, ready to take on the world, and the next you're back to procrastinating, letting distractions take over, or simply giving up. That's because motivation is a feeling, and like any other feeling, it can fade. The problem is, if you rely on that feeling to take action, you'll never achieve consistency. And without consistency, you'll never achieve lasting success. Discipline, on the other hand, is the foundation upon which all great accomplishments are built. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't care whether you're tired, frustrated, or uninspired. Discipline is about making a decision and sticking to it no matter what. It's about developing the habit of showing up, putting in the effort, and following through, especially on the days when you don't feel like it. Those are the days that matter most because they test your resolve, your commitment, and your willingness to push through discomfort. Think about any area of your life where you want to improve or achieve something significant. It could be your career, your health, your relationships, or your personal growth. In each of these areas, there will be moments of excitement when motivation is high and taking action feels effortless. But there will also be times when the excitement is gone and all that's left is the hard, repetitive work. This is where discipline steps in to carry you through. It's easy to go to the gym when you're feeling energetic and enthusiastic, but can you go when you're tired, when it's cold outside, or when no one is watching? It's easy to work on your dreams when everything is going well, but can you keep going when the progress is slow, the challenges are mounting, and doubt starts to creep in? Discipline is about making a promise to yourself and keeping it. It's about deciding that your goals are non-negotiable, that no matter how you feel or what obstacles arise, you'll keep moving forward. This isn't always easy. In fact, it's often uncomfortable, frustrating, and even boring. But that's the reality of success. It's not glamorous. It's not the highlight reel you see on social media. It's the unglamorous grind, the daily effort that no one else sees. It's waking up early to work on your dreams while the rest of the world is still asleep. It's staying focused when distractions are pulling you in every direction. It's doing what needs to be done, even when you'd rather be doing anything else. One of the biggest myths about success is that it's about talent or luck. While those things can play a role, they pale in comparison to the power of discipline. Talent without discipline is wasted potential. Luck without discipline is fleeting. But discipline can take even the most ordinary individual and turn them into someone extraordinary. It's not about how gifted you are, it's about how committed you are. Are you willing to put in the work day after day, even when the results are slow to appear? Are you willing to endure the discomfort, the setbacks, and the sacrifices that come with pursuing greatness? The truth is, discipline isn't something you're born with, it's something you develop. It's a muscle that grows stronger the more you use it. And like any muscle, it requires consistent effort to build. The good news is, every time you choose discipline over comfort, you're training yourself to be stronger. Every time you push through resistance, you're proving to yourself that you can do hard things. And over time, those small daily acts of discipline add up to something incredible. Discipline also creates momentum. When you commit to taking consistent action, no matter how small, you start to build a sense of progress. Even on the days when it feels like nothing is happening, you're laying the groundwork for future success. The small habits, the tiny steps, and the daily choices compound over time, leading to exponential growth. It's like planting seeds. You may not see the results right away, but with consistent effort, those seeds will eventually grow into something remarkable. But if you only take action when you feel motivated, you're constantly starting and stopping, and the progress stalls. Another important aspect of discipline is that it builds self-trust. When you consistently follow through on your commitments to yourself, you develop a sense of confidence and belief in your ability to achieve your goals. You start to trust yourself to do what you say you're going to do. And that trust becomes a powerful motivator in itself. On the other hand, when you break promises to yourself, when you skip the workout, procrastinate on your goals, or let excuses win you, erode that self-trust. You start to doubt your own abilities, and that doubt can be paralyzing. So how do you cultivate discipline? It starts with making a decision. Decide that your goals are worth it. Decide that you're no longer going to let excuses hold you back. Decide that you're willing to do the hard, unglamorous work required to achieve your dreams. Then start small. Discipline doesn't mean overhauling your entire life overnight. It means taking consistent, manageable steps in the right direction. It means creating routines and sticking to them. It means eliminating distractions and focusing on what truly matters. And most importantly, it means showing up every single day, even when you don't feel like it. There will be days when discipline feels like a heavy burden, days when you question whether it's all worth it. But those are the days that define you. Because in those moments, when you choose discipline over comfort, you're not just building habits, you're building character. You're becoming the person who doesn't just dream about success, but takes the consistent disciplined action necessary to achieve it. And that's a kind of power that no amount of motivation can ever replace. Motivation is like a spark, bright and exciting, but it fades quickly. Discipline, however, is the fire that keeps burning long after the spark is gone. The truth is, discipline is what carries you through when motivation fails. If you wait to feel motivated before taking action, you'll find yourself stuck in cycles of inconsistency, constantly starting over and never gaining momentum. This is why you must learn to act regardless of how you feel in the moment, because relying on emotions is a recipe for stagnation. Motivation often comes at the start of a journey, when the idea of achieving something new feels fresh and exciting. It's easy to commit to change when the vision of success is vivid and full of possibilities. At that moment, you feel unstoppable, as if nothing can stand in your way. But what happens when that initial wave of excitement wears off? What happens when you wake up one morning and don't feel like doing the work? This is where most people falter, because they rely on that fleeting feeling of motivation to fuel their actions. The key difference between people who succeed and those who don't isn't their level of motivation, it's their ability to act consistently even when the excitement is gone. Successful people understand that emotions are unreliable. They know there will be days when they feel tired, uninspired, or overwhelmed. They accept this as part of the process and refuse to let it dictate their actions. Instead of waiting for motivation to strike, they rely on habits, routines, and discipline to carry them through. Think about this. How often do you feel like doing hard things? How often do you wake up excited to tackle a difficult workout, stay late at work, or sacrifice leisure time to work on your goals? If you're honest, the answer is probably not very often. That's because our brains are wired to seek comfort and avoid discomfort. Motivation may get you started, but it's discipline that forces you to push past that resistance and do the things that are uncomfortable but necessary. Discipline is the practice of showing up regardless of your feelings. It's waking up early to pursue your goals, even when your bed feels warm and inviting. It's going to the gym when your body aches and your mind tells you to skip it. It's working on your craft when you'd rather watch TV or scroll through your phone. Discipline doesn't wait for the perfect moment or the right feeling. It creates momentum by taking action, no matter the circumstances. There's a common misconception that discipline means being hard on yourself or living a joyless life, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Discipline is an act of self-love. It's choosing what's best for your future self over what's easiest in the present moment. It's saying, I care enough about myself and my dreams to do what's necessary. Even when it's hard, discipline isn't punishment, it's empowerment. It's the key to freedom because it allows you to build the life you truly want instead of settling for one dictated by fleeting emotions and temporary pleasures. Discipline also creates a sense of consistency, and with consistency comes trust. When you consistently take action, you start to believe in yourself and your ability to follow through. This builds confidence and reinforces the idea that you are capable of achieving what you set out to do. On the flip side, when you wait for motivation and fail to act, you chip away at your self-trust. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you reinforce the idea that you're not capable, and this can lead to a cycle of self-doubt and inaction. Another powerful aspect of discipline is that it eliminates the need to make decisions in the moment. When you rely on motivation, you're constantly negotiating with yourself. Do I feel like working out today? Should I skip this one time? Maybe I'll start tomorrow. These internal debates drain your mental energy and make it easier to choose the path of least resistance. But when you have discipline, the decision is already made. You don't ask yourself if you feel like working out, you just do it. You don't question whether you'll put in the work, you just show up. This removes the mental burden of decision making and makes it easier to stay consistent. Discipline also helps you build momentum over time. Each small action you take, no matter how insignificant it seems, contributes to your overall progress. It's like rolling a snowball downhill. At first, it's small and slow, but with consistent effort, it gains size and speed. Motivation might get you to start rolling the snowball, but only discipline will keep it moving when the hill gets steep. And the longer you stick with it, the more unstoppable that momentum becomes. It's important to acknowledge that discipline isn't always easy. There will be days when it feels like a grind, when the work seems monotonous, and when progress feels slow or invisible. But these are the days that separate the committed from the curious. Anyone can show up when it's easy, but showing up when it's hard is what sets you apart. It's in those moments of resistance, when you push through despite your feelings, that real growth happens. You're not just achieving a goal, you're becoming the kind of person who can achieve any goal. Ultimately, discipline shifts your focus from short-term comfort to long-term fulfillment. It reminds you that the discomfort you feel today is temporary, but the rewards of staying consistent will last a lifetime. It teaches you that success isn't about grand gestures or bursts of effort. It's about the small, deliberate choices you make every day. So while motivation may ignite the flame, it's discipline that keeps it burning, even when the winds of doubt, fatigue, and resistance try to put it out. And that's the difference between dreaming of success and actually achieving it. You've got to stop negotiating with yourself. Every time you hesitate, every time you allow doubt or procrastination to creep in, you're opening the door to excuses. Negotiating with yourself is one of the biggest roadblocks to success because it gives power to the part of you that prefers comfort over growth, ease over effort. When you say, I'll do it tomorrow or just this once, I'll skip it, you're creating a pattern of inconsistency. And inconsistency is the enemy of progress. Think about how often you have conversations with yourself that sound like this: maybe I can start later, or it's okay if I miss just one day, it won't make a difference. These are the small negotiations that add up to big setbacks. They feel harmless in the moment, but every time you let yourself off the hook, you're teaching your mind that it's okay to break commitments to yourself. Over time, this erodes your discipline and self-trust, making it harder to achieve your goals. The truth is, successful people don't waste time negotiating with themselves. They don't wake up and ask, do I feel like doing this today, because they've already decided. Their actions are non-negotiable. It doesn't matter if they're tired, uninspired, or dealing with setbacks, they show up anyway. Why? Because they understand that every time they follow through, they're reinforcing the habits and mindset that lead to success. When you stop negotiating with yourself, you simplify your life. You remove the mental tug of war that drains your energy and makes it harder to take action. Instead of debating whether to follow through on your commitments, you create a clear, unwavering standard for yourself. This doesn't mean you'll never face resistance. It means you'll stop giving into it. Resistance is natural, but it's not an excuse to stop moving forward. One of the most powerful ways to eliminate self-negotiation is to make your goals non-negotiable. When something is truly important to you, it's not up for debate. You don't question whether you'll go to work on Monday morning. You just go because you know it's necessary. The same mindset needs to apply to your personal goals. Whether it's working out, building a business, studying, or developing a skill, you have to treat it like an essential part of your life. It's not something you'll do if you feel like it. It's something you'll do no matter what. This level of commitment requires clarity. You have to be crystal clear about what you want and why it matters to you. If your goals are vague or unimportant, it's easy to negotiate your way out of them. But when your vision is strong, when you're deeply connected to your why, it becomes much harder to make excuses. Clarity gives you a sense of purpose, and purpose fuels discipline. It's also important to recognize that negotiation often comes from a place of fear or discomfort. When you start making excuses, it's usually because you're trying to avoid something difficult. Maybe you're afraid of failing. Maybe the work feels overwhelming. Maybe you're simply uncomfortable stepping out of your comfort zone. Whatever the reason, self-negotiation is a way of avoiding that discomfort. But growth and success are found on the other side of discomfort. Every time you push past the urge to negotiate, you're building resilience and proving to yourself that you're capable of handling hard things. This doesn't mean you have to rely on sheer willpower every time you face resistance. In fact, one of the best ways to stop negotiating with yourself is to create systems and habits that make action automatic. For example, if you struggle to exercise in the morning, lay out your workout clothes the night before. Set your alarm and commit to getting out of bed as soon as it goes off. No snoozing, no second guessing. By eliminating decision points, you make it easier to follow through. Another strategy is to focus on the next small step instead of the entire task. Often we negotiate with ourselves because we're overwhelmed by the scope of what we need to do. Breaking it down into manageable pieces can make it feel more achievable. For instance, if you're working on a big project, commit to spending just 10 minutes on it. Once you start, you'll likely build momentum and keep going. Accountability is another powerful tool. When you share your goals with someone else or work with a coach, mentor, or partner, you create an external layer of commitment. It's much harder to negotiate with yourself when someone else is holding you accountable. You don't want to let them down. And that extra layer of responsibility can help you stay on track. Finally, it's important to remind yourself of the consequences of self-negotiation. Every time you delay, skip, or avoid the work, you're delaying your progress. You're making it harder to build momentum and achieve your goals. On the other hand, every time you push through, you're reinforcing the habits and mindset that lead to success. You're proving to yourself that you're capable of following through, and that builds confidence and self-trust. The bottom line is this: if you want to succeed, you have to stop negotiating with yourself. You have to take action, even when it's uncomfortable. You have to create systems and habits that make it easier to follow through. And most importantly, you have to commit to your goals with the same level of dedication you'd give to something you can't afford to lose. Because at the end of the day, the only way to achieve lasting success is to eliminate excuses and make your dreams non-negotiable. When you commit to consistency, you must also acknowledge the role of sacrifice in that commitment. Achieving greatness often requires giving up something in the short term for a long-term reward. Sacrifice isn't about deprivation, it's about making deliberate choices that align with your goals. It's about understanding that success doesn't come without giving up some of the things that feel comfortable or easy in the moment. The sacrifices you make today are investments in the future you're building, even if you don't see immediate results. The first and most obvious sacrifice is time. Time is one of the most valuable resources you have, and once it's gone, you can never get it back. In order to stay consistent in working toward your goals, you may find that you have to give up certain luxuries, whether it's sleeping in, binge watching your favorite shows, or spending excessive time on social media. Time spent in these unproductive ways might feel good in the short term, but the reality is they take away from the time you could be spending on your dreams. Every hour you dedicate to activities that don't serve your higher purpose is an hour you're not using to move closer to your goal. This doesn't mean you need to abandon all leisure and rest. In fact, maintaining a balance between work and relaxation is essential for long-term sustainability. However, being consistent requires a conscious decision to prioritize the activities that will bring you closer to your vision. It means giving up some immediate pleasures for long-term success. It's about choosing to read a book that furthers your knowledge instead of mindlessly scrolling through your phone. It's about spending time practicing a skill instead of watching yet another episode of your favorite show. These sacrifices might seem small in isolation, but over time they compound into meaningful progress. Another form of sacrifice is socializing. Relationships are vital, but there are times when you'll need to make difficult decisions about where you spend your energy. You might need to say no to social invitations or limit time with people who don't support your vision or distract you from your goals. When you're working towards something significant, not everyone will understand or support your commitment. There may be friends or family members who don't share your drive or who make light of your efforts. Their intentions might be well-meaning, but the truth is that the time you spend with these individuals might not align with your priorities. This isn't about abandoning relationships, it's about being strategic with your time. It's about knowing when to step back and protect your focus. It's about recognizing that some relationships might be temporarily disruptive to your success and choosing to protect your peace and commitment to growth. Your true friends and supporters will respect your dedication and understand when you need to take time for yourself to work toward your goals. Sacrifice also involves comfort. Most people avoid discomfort because it's human nature to seek pleasure and avoid pain. But true growth is found on the other side of discomfort. Consistency in pursuing your goals means you'll often face situations where things aren't easy, where you feel stretched beyond your current capabilities, or where you feel overwhelmed. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is their ability to push through those moments and remain committed to the process. Whether it's waking up early to get a head start on your work, doing the hard tasks that others avoid, or dealing with failure and rejection, these uncomfortable experiences are part of the journey. Sacrificing your comfort means choosing to face those challenges head-on rather than avoiding them or giving up. It means pushing through the discomfort because you understand that it's part of the process of becoming better, stronger, and more capable. Financial sacrifice is another aspect that often comes with commitment. When you're building something significant, whether it's a business, an education, or a new skill, there are often costs involved both in terms of money and resources. You may need to invest in courses, tools, books, or services that will help you grow and move forward. You may also need to temporarily reduce your spending on non-essential items in order to prioritize what matters most. While it can be difficult to make these sacrifices, it's essential to remember that these investments are the fuel for your future success. At times, you may also have to let go of old habits, mindsets, or beliefs that no longer serve you. If you're consistent in your pursuit of growth, you'll eventually realize that certain behaviors or ways of thinking are holding you back. Maybe it's fear of failure, a tendency to procrastinate, or a belief that success is out of reach. These mental and emotional barriers are often just as much of a sacrifice as giving up physical comforts. The journey toward consistency often means overcoming these internal obstacles, which can be even more challenging than external sacrifices. But as hard as it may seem in the moment, the act of sacrifice will always pay off in the long run. It may feel like you're giving up something valuable in the short term, but remember that what you're really doing is investing in a future where your goals become reality. Every sacrifice is a step closer to your success. Whether it's giving up a little sleep now to work on your dreams or cutting back on spending to invest in your future, you're building the foundation for something greater than the immediate gratification of today. Sacrifice is not about deprivation, it's about making choices that align with your higher purpose. It's about understanding that you can't have it all at once and that the temporary discomfort of giving something up now is worth the lasting rewards of achieving your goals. Consistency doesn't come without sacrifice, but the rewards far outweigh the cost. The sacrifices you make today will pay off tomorrow, and each step you take toward your goals brings you closer to the life you've always dreamed of. Building consistency requires embracing accountability. Accountability is a force that keeps you on track, especially when motivation fades or distractions arise. It serves as a constant reminder that your goals are not just personal aspirations, but commitments you've made to yourself and in some cases to others. When you're held accountable, you can't easily slip into procrastination or avoid the hard work that's necessary for success. Accountability is a tool that transforms abstract intentions into concrete actions, ensuring that you continue to show up every day, even when it feels difficult. When you set a goal or make a commitment, you're essentially entering into an agreement with yourself. But the truth is, it's much easier to break promises to yourself than it is to break promises to others. This is where external accountability comes into play. Whether it's a coach, a mentor, a friend, or a colleague, having someone who knows about your goals and holds you accountable to them can be incredibly motivating. It creates a level of responsibility that makes it harder to back out or make excuses. Think about the times in your life when you've been accountable to someone else. Maybe it was a work deadline, a fitness goal, or a promise to help a friend. The presence of accountability often pushes us to work harder, stay focused, and follow through. When we know someone else is counting on us, it's much harder to let ourselves off the hook. The same principle applies when it comes to personal goals. When you share your goals with others and invite them to hold you accountable, you create a sense of urgency and responsibility that drives you to act. Accountability also fosters consistency because it reinforces the idea that your goals are not just personal ambitions, but commitments that impact other people as well. When someone else is invested in your success, it heightens your sense of responsibility and makes you more likely to follow through. The fear of letting someone down, whether it's a mentor, a friend, or a teammate, creates an external force that drives you to keep pushing, even on days when you don't feel like it. Accountability isn't just about having someone else involved, it's also about holding yourself to a high standard. It's easy to make excuses or allow yourself to slip when there's no one checking in on you. But when you establish self-accountability, you create an internal system that keeps you aligned with your goals. This means setting clear expectations for yourself and measuring your progress regularly. Whether it's tracking your workouts, setting daily or weekly milestones, or maintaining a journal of your efforts, self-accountability helps you stay on course even when no one else is watching. The power of accountability extends beyond the immediate task at hand. It also has a long-term effect on your mindset and behavior. When you consistently hold yourself accountable to your commitments, you begin to develop a deeper sense of integrity. You start to view your word as a bond, and breaking that bond becomes harder. This internal shift helps you build trust with yourself, and over time, you become someone who not only sets goals, but also achieves them. Accountability, in this sense, becomes a foundational element of your personal growth. For many people, the fear of failure is a significant barrier to consistency. However, accountability can help to mitigate that fear. When you know someone is watching your progress, there's an additional layer of motivation to keep going, even when you encounter obstacles or setbacks. Accountability creates a supportive environment where you're not alone in your struggles. It reminds you that challenges are part of the process, and having someone to share those challenges with can make them feel more manageable. At the same time, accountability helps you celebrate your wins, no matter how small. Achieving milestones, no matter how minor they seem, deserves recognition. When you share your victories with someone who has been holding you accountable, it amplifies the sense of accomplishment. This positive reinforcement can create a cycle of motivation and confidence that propels you toward even bigger achievements. It transforms the process of reaching your goals from a solitary journey into a shared experience of growth and success. There are various ways to integrate accountability into your daily life. One of the most effective ways is through regular check-ins. This could be a weekly meeting with a mentor, a workout partner, or a colleague who knows about your progress and can offer feedback and encouragement. It could also involve setting up a system where you report your progress to a group or community that shares similar goals. The key is consistency, creating regular touch points where you check in on your progress and receive constructive feedback that helps you stay on track. Another powerful method is using social accountability. Sharing your goals publicly, whether on social media, with friends, or in a professional setting, creates a sense of commitment to follow through. It adds a layer of external pressure that makes it harder to back out or let things slide. When others are aware of your goals, it's easier to stay committed because there's an expectation that you will follow through. Even technology can play a role in accountability. There are numerous apps and tools designed to help you track your progress, set reminders, and create accountability partners. Many people find it motivating to track their habits, progress, or challenges digitally because it creates a clear record of where they've succeeded and where they still need to improve. These tools can also serve as a constant reminder that you are accountable to your own goals. Accountability is not about external pressure or scrutiny. It's about creating a system of support that makes it harder for you to quit. It gives you the structure and encouragement you need to stay consistent, even when the road gets tough. Whether it's through personal integrity, the support of others, or technological tools, accountability is a powerful force that helps you turn your dreams into reality. When you make accountability a priority in your journey, you don't just stay on track, you thrive. In the pursuit of consistency, it's crucial to understand that setbacks are inevitable, but they should never be viewed as failures. Instead, setbacks are opportunities for growth, learning, and reinforcing your commitment to your goals. The key to building consistency is not about avoiding mistakes or avoiding challenges. It's about how you respond when they inevitably arise. Setbacks are a part of the process, and how you handle them determines your long-term success. One of the most damaging things you can do when faced with setbacks is to allow them to break your spirit or derail your progress. It's easy to be discouraged when things don't go as planned. Maybe you miss a deadline, fail to hit a target, or experience a setback in your health or personal life. In those moments, it's easy to fall into the trap of self-doubt, to think that maybe you're not cut out for success or that your efforts are futile. But this is precisely. Setbacks are inevitable, but how you respond to them shapes your success. Instead of letting them discourage you, use them as opportunities to learn and grow. Consistency is built not through perfection, but through perseverance and a commitment to keep moving forward, regardless of the challenges you face.